Today's topic is what is hybrid personal training. Obviously, everyone knows the traditional model of in-person training, and I think after the blip, the Thanos blip, as we like to call it, the COVID-19 pandemic, that changed the world, changed the face of training forever. Suddenly people had to find a way to survive in their training business. Everyone came online, obviously, because they had no other choice. And there were Zoom calls and classes galore, and it burnt a lot of people out. But there is a better method. And I think probably if you are still doing in-person training, there's always a place for that, by the way. That's never going to be replaced. But if that is all you're doing, I highly recommend listening to this episode and considering switching to the hybrid model, because it offers so many more advantages for you and for your clients. Would you agree, James?
100%. I would never go back to doing anything different anymore. It is such a big part of how we approach our model of training, but it's also a big part of how we grow in the business, and also getting some time, some flexibility and some freedom in our lives again. Because the hardest thing about personal training is, and for all the trainers out there doing this on the shop floor, I think I spoke to Simon Bradbrook the other day, who'd done 14 hours straight on a Monday, one after the other each client. That's hard work and hard going. So what we're trying to do is find a balance between the two. We're trying to give the best experience for your clients, but also you can manage time expectations around yourself as well, so you can live the life that you want, basically. That's a really important thing.
Yeah, exactly. It offers, the advantages of both in-person and the online training approach. Obviously, here at Strength Matters, we do a bit of both, and it works very well for us. James, do you want to go into a little bit more detail about how the hybrid model works?
Yeah, it's very, in a nutshell, it's very quickly where you're doing a mixture of in-person training with your clients and then online training the rest of the time. So for us, the default kind of model is this: is in an ideal world, we'll only work with our clients once, maybe twice if they're lucky, a week in person, but they're then following a program which is going for 7 days of the week, right? So they're training on their own. Maybe they're coming to some classes, maybe they're doing some nutrition plan, but the idea is we're approaching this 365-day, 24/7 type rule when it comes to training, and we're moving away from just training with us 1, 2, 3 hours a week. It's a very different model. It's a more holistic approach, is what we're trying to say. But to do this, you need systems, you need software in process to make it happen. I know that, but what you're doing is you're freeing up your time. So say, for example, you have 20 clients and they're each doing 2 hours a week with you in person. That's 40 hours on the floor. It's quite hard going, right?
Yeah, and you're maxed out there basically, aren't you? You don't have any more time.
Can't grow. But what if you had 40 clients with 1 hour in person each week, doing the same thing, but you're charging the same money, giving them better experience all around? It's a different approach. You can scale up a little bit better than what you can. It's almost like a semi-private version of one-on-one training, almost, I think is a way to put it. But it's definitely a more sustainable model for yourself. But the value you're giving to your clients is so much more, which means better results, higher retention rates, and more word-of-mouth referrals saying how fantastic and wonderful you are at doing your job, basically.
Yeah. Exactly. And it also allows you to potentially take control of the program a bit more, because if you're just doing one-to-one in-person session, you've got that generally an hour slot, and that's all you can do. But perhaps, if you have a beginner client, they might only need 45 minutes, and if you've got a more advanced client, they might need a 90-minute session. So you can tailor it more, you can deliver this online, and then it isn't just limited to that 1 hour slot as well. And From a client perspective, it's more cost effective, and lots of other advantages. Do you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I think as well as that, it also gives you the freedom to do consultations with them outside the training zone. So, and what I mean by that is, like, say once a month as a check-in, you can do it via Zoom call. Sit down in your comfy office, be professional about it. They're at home; they don't have to travel in potentially. And you can sit them and talk about, hey, how's it going? What's going on? What's going well? What's not going well? What do we need to change? So it gives you more scope to change around this and add some more value into it too. So that's the main thing. Sorry, I forgot the question. What was the question?
No, there wasn't really a question. I kind of got a minute, a little tongue-tied. I wasn't sure where I was going with that brief section. My brain had a little bit of a brain fart. Flexibility Flexibility, that was, I think, was where I was going for it. More flexible for the client. Again, if you're doing in-person one-to-one sessions and a client can't make it for whatever reason, then they've essentially lost that session. Whereas if you are, online, they still have their program, and if they're traveling, they can go and do that program in the hotel gym or wherever they happen to be at the time. So again, offers many more advantages for the client themselves.
Yeah, 100%. And you can scale it up as you want to. They can do once a week, they can do once a month if they want to, because sometimes you need a bit of check-in. Or there's ways of doing it where, for example, some of the cricketers we work with on our sister company, Cricket Matters, what we're doing is we're working online with them, but every couple of months they're coming to work with me in person for maybe 2 to 3 hours, and they're paying for sessions in a block setting. Now, we're not always a big fan of doing block sessions up front, but sometimes it needs to work if people are traveling big distances and they don't live near you. So you need to be flexible with your pricing as well. But this is such a good model. It's a better relationship all around, and I see it as a big win for all involved, basically.
Yeah, talk about a little bit about the pricing, actually, because you do price it differently than you would with the traditional one-to-one model, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I always go to practical examples. Now, there's lots of people saying, you should charge $3,000 for your 12-week program. You should charge this online, do this. And we've tried it all. We've been doing this since 2016, and we've split test all and see how it works. Trust me, we've tried it. We've tried $79 a month, $97 a month. We've tried $1,000 plus a month, right, for these services. We've even done a 12-week plan in various different ways. What we found is the optimal on a rough scale is about $299 a month. That's about £250 a month for the online component of training. That's not the in-person component. So for anyone who comes to work with us now,
monthly fee just for that, for the online specific.
Yes, exactly that. So for anyone who's coming to work with us, our standard method is this: they must work with us online first. That's the first thing here. If they want to do with us in person, then that's a bolt-on, like a do you want fries with that style thing. If you go to McDonald's, you buy a burger, hey, you want fries with that, or upgrade to a Happy Meal or whatever you want to do. Like, it's one of those things. It's like you got to upgrade afterwards. So the default is them online, and then we upgrade to the in-person sessions afterwards. Now, I'll give an example with us. Anyone who comes into work with Strength Matters, they always start with a 12-week program, because 12 weeks is enough for us to get a good idea of who they are, what they do with us, and how we want to work with them. Because sometimes they're not the right fit, and sometimes we don't want them to be the right fit. So what happens is they start with 12 weeks minimum commitment, and then after 12 weeks they transition to the $299 a month program. So we charge a bit more up front for our services. I think it's $12.95 for 12 weeks in our Pro Plus plan. And our Pro plan, it's $997, I think. So it's a slight difference between the two. From where I need to check this out. I didn't think about pricing as a start today. I need to check that out. But those are the two options, basically. They come in with us at the high level pricing for online coaching for 12 weeks. And then they do the bolt-ons for the in-session.
Yeah, but that's our price, and that depends on what you charge for what your hourly rate would be. That's based off our hourly rate, right? So depending on your geographical location, demographic, your hourly rate might be less. So basically, you have an online monthly fee for your online component, and then you can obviously figure out what you then charge for the in-person sessions as a bolt-on, as you say.
Exactly, that's important. So like we find $299 is a good standard across the board. It's not it's like the Goldilocks effect. We see clients stay with us long term. Like we were looking at yesterday when we were doing the system changeovers, looking at the lifetime value of some of our clients. Our lifetime value for our clients now at the top end is $15,000 plus for online coaching. That's how long they've been with us at that price range. It's a huge, huge retention thing. So it's long term, not just short term plays here as well. So we go for the long term, not just this 12-week fix and get people through time and time again. So, but yeah, and you're absolutely right, Josh. You get the hour. You rate down for your time, and you adopt it accordingly. So Cardiff is way cheaper than New York City or than London, as an example. So you got to adapt your pricing range accordingly there for your hourly rate.
Exactly. Any final thoughts? Any final summaries you'd like to give before we wrap this up?
Yeah, for those who are looking to go into this, don't think it's going to be easy. It's not. To make this work and work well, you have to have systems. You need to do what we say, professionalize your fitness business. If you haven't got systems and structure to manage clients, the software to manage the training programs, you're going to struggle. So that is the first point of call. You start off here and get it. And we're more than happy to help you guys out. We've got a whole certification about this and how you do it. But come to school.com/strength matters, and we'll get you into the community and see how other people are doing it and ask us questions in there. So it's a really good way to start off and get any questions answered.
Absolutely. I hope you found that episode helpful. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review and subscribe. And if you want to find out more about our system of training, go to strengthmatters.com/system.